title, you honestly already know what the video is about to be about. I just want to go over 5 things that I have learned over 2021. I originally was going to do 21 things for 2021, but I felt as though the video was going to be too long. So I just tried to cut things down and condense it into 5 basic principles, I guess you can say, that I've summarized my year based off of, and also things that I'm going to go ahead and take into 2022. So I'm going to try to have as minimal cuts and edits that I have to do. I'm just going to try to do this straightforward, simple, and to the point, so it's not a really long video. So number 1, we have the importance of discipline, most importantly in your habits. So I kind of got this by this year. I've been trying to be more strategic with my use of social media. And so with that being said, I try to follow more people who are living the lifestyles that I wanted to live. And so in order to do that, I'm not saying in order to do, but basically I've been more conscious of studying their habits, the things they do, because I came to the realization that I'm not going to be able to live the life I want unless I start living as if I'm already there. So essentially, if I'm not there financially, at least be there mentally and be there physically. So the past couple months, really, I'll say the latter part of the year, I've been more disciplined when it comes to what I do in my body, as far as I've been trying to get more in the gym, be more intentional in my workouts, set goals and things like that, be more goal-oriented as well in my dieting, because I, especially when I was in college, had a real issue with eating healthy. So dieting, physical activity, but also just when it comes to sleeping. My sleep schedule in college was also off, and being that I have a job now, it causes me to have to wake up earlier. And so I try to make sure I get the proper amount of sleep. So just doing certain things like that, that I feel as though people who are in the space of millionaireship and even, being a billionaire would practice. So I would say being disciplined is by far the greatest habit in which I've tried to implement in my life the past couple months. Number 2, I would say prayer. So I have also been being more conscious of how often and how intentional / specific my prayer life has become. I heard a pastor one day say that God doesn't see the difference between a Lamborghini and a Honda Accord. So, if you ask him for a car, he'll get you what you want. And so when it comes to my business and also my personal life, I've been trying to be more specific in what I ask God for, and also put in the work behind it, behind my faith, in order to get that specific thing. So I also try to be more conscious of the things that I say, because of how, how they say how powerful the tongue is. And so if I feel as though I speak within having doubt, then those things will come to pass. So along with being more intentional in the specificity of my prayers, also being more intentional of the things that I say, even if it's in a joking manner. So number 3, I would say, is relationships. And I know relationships is a pretty broad topic, and so I'll try to be specific on the things that I learned in different types of relationships. So when it came to my friends, I learned to be there for them in other ways than just showing up. I felt as though I didn't do a good job at first of checking on people, just because you just never know what people are going through, aside from what they show on social media. I'm sure there's somebody who will watch this video who can connect to it. They seem as though somebody in your life may seem as though their life is going, quote unquote, picture perfect, but they're dealing with a lot of things behind the scenes. So I've been trying to be more present in my friends' lives, and just checking on every once in a while. Hey man, I was thinking about you, or hey man, let's hop on a call, let's talk about something. Just so that they can feel as though there is someone actually out there that's caring for them. I've also learned the importance of give and take in certain relationships. You should never expect more than what you're giving into relationships, because then that creates just an unbalance in the dynamic of that relationship. On the flip side of that, be okay with somebody leaving your relationship because they feel as though they're not getting what they need out of, certain relationships. Relationships should be built on core values and certain standards. You won't have the same standards in a relationship with, say, your teacher as you will, a teacher might be a bad example, as you will like a colleague, as you might with your girlfriend. So when you go into a relationship, take the time to figure out, what do you need out of that? And it's okay for that standard or those core values to change as you evolve and you go through the relationship, but just be open to communicating that with your partner or with your colleague or with your brother as things change in your life. And as you grow as a person, know that your relationships and the people around you have to continually grow with you. So number 4, I'm trying to figure out the biggest thing that I learned in my business life, but it's really hard. So I'll say 2. So the first thing I learned with my business just comes in the matter of the concept of support. And so I made a post about me dropping out back in March, and I had all of this great reactions, all my friends telling me, congratulations, and we're proud of you for being so brave, and this and that and this and that. And I thought that those comments were going to be had a direct correlation to the amount of support that I was going to get. And I was definitely in for a surprise when it came to, what support looked like. And so I had conversations with people, I had conversations with my dad, and he was basically saying a lot of times if we focus on the things that we don't have, it blinds us from actually appreciating the things that we do have. And where I got that, or where that connects to support as far as my business, is that a lot of times I'm so worried about wondering why this friend doesn't support, why this person doesn't support, why this family member doesn't buy my clothes or this and that I've taken away the gratitude I have for the people who have continually been in my corner, people who have continually taken the time to buy things for me, continually taking the time to check up and see the development of how my business has been going. So just moving into 2022, I should say the end of 2021 and going into the beginning of 2022, I have tried to be more conscious of just letting people know how much I appreciate them going through this process of, kind of stepping out on my own and trying to build a foundation of my business. So I would say, just for the business owners out there, be mindful of the fact that if you continually ponder on what you don't have, the people who aren't supporting you, the people who are supporting you might feel as though they're not, because they don't necessarily have to spend their money with you, but they do. So be more conscious of that and take the time out to reach out to people and just thank them for what they have done to help promote and build up your business. And I say the second thing that I learned for business is understand that a lot of people won't support you until it's cool to support you. You look at a lot of these businesses who are luxury brands and who basically control the market on certain price points. And I would constantly try to figure out, why is it that this company can hey, this piece right here is gonna be $70, and they'll put it in their store, they'll put it on their website, and people buy it without question. But if I say, hey, this piece is $70, and all of a sudden people will look at me crazy, like, hey, why are you taxing, or why are you, pricing it at that price point? And it took me a while, and I may even be something that I've always realized, I just haven't accepted. But it is the fact that people buy based off of name rather than specific piece. you know, if you look at a piece as far as aesthetic, right, and you have a pair of sweats from, let's say, Balenciaga, you know, they're blank black sweats with a small Balenciaga emblem, right? $800. But if I do it and I charge, let's say 80, then I might look crazy or whatever. But you remove the Balenciaga emblem, you remove the Uninfluenced Youth logo, and you just have the blank pair of black sweatpants side by side. The average person won't be able to tell which one is which. So just understand that, you know, if anything, allow that to give you motivation, you know, that people aren't necessarily going to support you until it's the hype or the cool thing to do. And then lastly, I've learned the importance of time, and kind of on the tail end of that, perception of time. So that can mean a multitude of different things, and it means specifically to me how much time I have before things start to get quote unquote real. I think the worst thing social media has done is convince kids that they're supposed to have their life figured out by 21, 25 or whatever, and that it's frowned upon to fail, or it's frowned upon if you're in college, or if it's, I just think that we need to realize that, you know, we're young. Like, you know, I'm 20 years old, so even if I just say I'm going to take the next 10 years to really sit down and figure out what my next steps in life are, excuse me, or try to decide whether or not this is what I want to do, you know, let's say in 5 years, I don't think it's going to happen. Let's say in 5 years, I'm like, hey, I don't know if doing Uninfluenced Youth full time is what I want to do. I want to go to culinary school and become a chef. I'm still, you know, young. I'm still 25. I still don't think that those past 5 years have been wasted time, because I can still continue to go on and go on and go on. I mean, look at some of the richest guys in the world, and some of those guys are like 50, some of the guys are like 70. And, you know, you ask them what they were doing at 21, I doubt any of them would tell you that they were in any situation close to what they're in now. And as well as the literal sense of time is being intentional with how you spend your days. I think it kind of ties into the first one when I said the importance of discipline and also changing my habits. Being more conscious of the fact that while I am young, I don't want that to become an excuse to sit around and be lazy and not do anything. So I try to structure my day so where every increment of time is doing something that is contributing to me having, I should say, being closer to the goal that I have for myself. I came out of school with the idea of what my next, say, 10 years were going to be. And as I've gone through the past couple months, they've constantly changed. However, the end goal hasn't changed. It's just been the pieces or the stepping stones to get to that goal that has changed. So every day I'm kind of living with the goal of, I want to go to sleep today better than what I woke up in the morning. So yeah, guys, those are, I guess I would say, like seven and a half lessons that I learned over the year. So this is really just supposed to be something of a conversation piece. If you guys have learned any important lessons over 2021, please feel free to comment them down below, and stay tuned, because I do have another video coming out within the next week or two of a challenge that I'm going to be doing going into 2022. Peace, love, and I'll see you on the next one.